I just went to get right at a level.
Can I start?
Yeah, go.
Yeah, oh, very good. That's my permission. That's all. Good morning, everyone. The tap and go technology has been embraced by the community when using credit and debit cards. However, it is important that users of this technology understand that their credit and debit cards are being targeted by offenders. Offenders are specifically targeting credit and debit cards because they know that these cards are just like cash to them. Since 2011, incidents of wallets and handbags being stolen has been decreasing by around 23% since 2014, up until 2014. However, over the last couple of years, this trend is now increasing by about 10%. I asked for a recent review to be conducted, and that review identified that tap and go technology was a driver of this crime. In around 40% of occasions when a wallet or handbag was stolen, which contained a credit or debit card, that card was subsequently used by the offender in a tap and go situation. I'm going to provide you with 4 case studies which illustrate this point. In March of 2016, a 25-year-old female victim had her handbag stolen from a food hall in the Adelaide CBD. The handbag contained valuable personal items, including a driver's licence, Medicare card, and many other membership cards, including several debit cards. And one of those debit cards was enabled for tap and go. The victim spent the next 6 days on her phone advising different institutions of the loss of those cards. Unfortunately, the very last contact that she made was with the bank which had the debit card, and that card had the debit card tap and go enabled. When she reported the loss of that card, she was immediately transferred to the bank's security office, who informed her that between the loss of the card in March and that card had been used on 12 occasions, and there had been 51 transactions on the card totalling $2,175. So just to reinforce the theft, that the card was stolen, and that between the 12th and the 18th of March, that particular card had been used on 51 separate occasions, totalling just over $2,000. Case study number 2. In December 2015, the victim withdrew $500 from an ATM in a suburban shopping centre to buy Christmas presents for his family. He put his cash and his credit card in his wallet and put them into his back pocket of his jeans. Minutes later, some younger men bumped into him and apologised. They walked off quickly, and when the victim felt for his wallet, it was gone. He had been pickpocketed. He immediately called for his financial institution, but not before a female offender had used his tap and go card on 8 occasions, purchasing about $340 in services and sunglasses and a watch and some food. When arrested, the offender told police that she knew that she only had a short period of time to use the tap and go card because the bank would block the card as soon as they were informed. All of the purchases were completed in the space of 10 minutes and in the same shopping centre as the card was stolen from. Case study number 3. In March of this year, the victim parked his vehicle in his home garage. The next day, he found that someone had entered the garage overnight and stolen his wallet, which contained cash, personal identification and 3 credit cards. And one of those cards, again, was tap and go enabled. He did not report the loss of the cards until he was contacted by the bank in April of the same year, and they had detected an unusual pattern of use on his credit card, and the bank advised him that his credit card had been used on 23 occasions and totalling about $1,800 loss on that credit card. Case study number 4. Overnight in May of this year, a female victim had her purse stolen from an unlocked vehicle in her driveway. Again, the purse contained 4 credit cards, all of which were tap and go enabled. She did not realise the purse was missing until a police patrol found it in her nearby street and returned it to her, but unfortunately the 4 cards had been removed. In 24 hours, the offender used 2 of the cards to make purchases using the tap and go function. At one service station, he was able to make 6 successive transactions of about $100 to buy mobile phone top-up plans. These instances clearly illustrate that offenders are targeting debit and credit cards so they can use the tap and go function to purchase goods and services. My message to the community is quite simple. Would you leave your wallet or handbag in an insecure place if it contained $1,000 in cash? I would answer that most people would say no, and people need to treat their debit and credit cards in the same manner. Unfortunately, people are doing just that. They are leaving their credit cards in places where they can be easily stolen, and they do not understand the value of their debit and credit cards to offenders. When you have your credit or debit card stolen as a victim, you may not lose any money through the financial institution. However, your personal security will be significantly compromised, with the offenders being able to steal your identity, which they can use for an unlawful purpose. You will also be inconvenienced in having to replace the identification that has been stolen from you. So it's not only the fact that you use your credit cards, but you'll lose your driver's licence, you'll lose your library card, your RAA card, or whatever card you have in your personal handbag or wallet, and all of that, those cards take a significant amount of effort to replace. So it's not just the inconvenience of losing your debit and credit card, it's all the other things which occur as a consequence of that. As I go back to my simple analogy, you can prevent this type of theft by thinking that there is $1,000 in cash in your wallet and or handbag and treating your possessions appropriately. Questions?
The case study there where there was a pickpocket involved, that's the sort of worrying conversions of old and new. How often are you hearing about pickpockets?
We don't have a lot of pickpockets, but they still do occur. And in things like the Royal Show is a good example of that, where people are bringing their hands to their wallet often to pay for things and putting them back in their pockets, and there's a lot of distractions occurring with kids and so forth. So yes, they do occur, and it is still a significant crime for us to deal with. So yes.
Are you finding similar things are happening with phones? Now you can have a little paywave thing on the back of your iPhone. Are people losing or getting their iPhone stolen and having money stolen that way?
Historically, the theft of mobile phones was probably in this category of crime offending was the highest. But now what's happening is phones are actually going down, and credit cards and debit cards are going almost higher than phones, being driven by this issue which I'm explaining now. I think the difference between a mobile phone is that you still need a password to open that mobile phone up to use your credit and debit card facility. However, you don't, obviously, for tap and go functionality at the moment. So that's the difference.
Tap and go's been out for a while now, so why the warning now?
Well, I think there's been a number of warnings that we've done, but not only South Australian Police, but other jurisdictions have done warnings before in relation to this functionality. I think it's just become more and more prevalent within offenders who are targeting now, and haven't so much historically, targeting people's credit cards and wallets and handbags. Because, as I said in my introduction, historically we've had a reduction in this sort of theft in relation to wallets and handbags since going back for about 4 years from around 2011. But in the last couple of years that has now changed, and that's been driven by offenders who see the opportunities in stealing people's credit cards.
And why is it taking so long for people to report it if they have been stolen?
Well, that's like anything. They don't appear to. On occasions, people just are going through the process of reporting all the different cards. You just have a look at your handbag. I'm sure there'd be 20 or 30 probably different institutions and financial institutions and cards. So where do you start? And as one of the victims here said, it took her 6 days to get through all of the cards. Now, I would argue that you probably need to prioritise your financial institutions higher than your library card, but that's what people just need to focus on.
And the victims and case studies that you spoke about, did any of them get any of the money back from the banks? What is the process if you do have money stolen?
I can't talk for financial institutions, but generally, the victims in the case studies which I've provided don't lose any money. That's either filtered by the banks or the financial institution that's involved. However, I keep going back to the point, is that won't protect your identity being stolen, and the fact that the inconvenience that you will suffer as in having to then go back and, often in a handbag, especially when you have car keys and house keys and everything else which gets stolen, where often then the offenders are not targeting those other pieces, they're just targeting the credit cards. However, as a consequence, you lose all that other form of identity as well.
Which commend to people then perhaps assessing the risk associated with owning the card and adjusting it accordingly, how much risk they're prepared to take.
And that's the issue. Here's what the message here is about we're asking the community to be aware that offenders value those cards which are sitting in your wallet and handbag. So treat that appropriately and actually secure your handbag and wallet. When you're at the hotel, the licensed premises, just don't leave your handbag or wallet on the table unattended. When you're in a shop buying clothing or whatever, don't just leave your handbag or wallet lying around, so that creates those opportunities. So all we're really asking for is people to be aware that there are people in our community who are the offenders who are targeting your belongings because they believe, and they have, being able to get some significant amount of money in a very quick turnaround time. So it's almost as good as cash to them.
Do you think the fact that if you lose $1,000 cash, you can't get that back, but if you lose $1,000 on your debit card, you're saying you potentially can? Do you think that's why people don't take it as seriously?
Well, I think there's a bit of both in that, but I think the issue that, from our perspective, is that where I'm concerned is the identity theft issues are significant for us all, and the inconvenience to people. There's no doubt that tap and go technology has been embraced within the community. There's probably not a person sitting in this room that hasn't got tap and go technology. So that's been embraced. What we need to do is actually make it highly visible, the issues around how you can protect that technology, and that's what we're asking people to do.
Can you just expand on the identity theft and why that is such a concern?
Well people would know, especially with technology today, that if people can quite easily get, in most people's handbags, you'd have that 100 points. So those 100 points can be used if you want to create a bank account or use something online in that sort of environment, or create a false identity. And then when people create that false identity, further offences of deception and fraud can be created. So it's just that's what's required. In many years ago, people were stealing letters out of post office boxes, and the reason they were doing that was to get that 100 points to actually create their identity. Here, they're doing the same thing, but just by stealing your wallet or your handbag.
Can you talk us through the sticker and how you'd like to see this used?
Well, the sticker which I've provided is designed for. There's two aspects of it. There's one in relation to from the community's perspective, and then on the other side it's around the trader's perspective. So it's about identifying what we can do to actually protect individuals who have credit and debit cards, so how they can protect themselves, a whole lot of different strategies. And there's nothing there that's particularly complicated, it's all common sense. It's just about being aware that your wallet, handbag, even though there's no cash in it, is still, to you, should be treated as a valuable commodity.
And where are these offenders shopping? Where are they using the tap and go technology?
Everywhere. It's shopping centres, licensed premises, service stations. There's no one place, but it's being used everywhere. And as you can see, that some of them be done very, very quickly. In 10 minutes, I've been in a large shopping centre. They've gone from one shop to another and use that same technology very, very quickly. And as you know, tap and go technology, you can. That's why it's been embraced so much, because people can use it very quickly.
But it has been around for a while. I mean, we did see a drop off, 2011 to 2014. Now all of a sudden we've got a spike. What do you just attribute that to, tap and go, or is it something?
No. What I'm attributing it to is offenders at the moment see it as an opportunity to steal a significant amount of money. That's what it's about. It's driven by offenders. It's not driven by, well, to some extent it is driven by the actions of the victims, because if they secure their property better, that reduces the opportunity for the theft. But in general terms, it's driven by the people that are actually committing these offences see an opportunity. It's an easy opportunity for them, and they can actually be quite successful. So what we need to do is make it harder for them.
Can you say how significant the rise has been in the theft of handbags, purses, etc.?
Well, it's as I said, we've had about a 10% increase since 2014.
Do you have actual figures?
Well, it's just under 5,000 handbags, because we don't actually, we count handbags and wallets amongst other things, but in preparation for this presentation I've gone down and got my people to actually identify the numbers. It's just under 5,000.
And that's right now? And
It's
okay.
over the last 12 months.
Okay.
So 5,000 handbags?
And wallets and all that sort of stuff. It's just under. That's not a perfect number, because there's other things which are collective, but from a manual analysis, that's what we've identified.
5,000 in 12 months.
Yeah.
And I know you said that people are using these cards at shopping centres and things like that once they've been stolen, but are there any hotspots where these handbags and wallets are being stolen from? Is it hotels? Is it shopping centres? Is it beach?
No, as I said, it's licensed premises, it's retail shops and footpaths. And when you say footpaths, it's usually, you imagine in the CBD, you might be outside of a licensed premises having a lovely lunch on the footpath, and you've got your handbag there, and you're not concentrating on your handbag, and somebody walks past and takes your handbag, and then it's a bit difficult to pay for your meal.
Can we ask about the Mount Gambier unexplained deaths? What's the latest with that?
I don't have that sort of detail.
Any last questions?
Just on another unrelated matter, will police be stepped up on Saturday night for the footy finals at Adelaide Oval?
The football finals at Adelaide Oval will be we've already got the resources in place for that, so there will be a slight increase, but it won't be a significant increase in number of police in there.
So you're tightening security as a result?
We'll do a review prior to the actual game and see whether there's anything that's coming out as a consequence of that review. But in general sense, we've had finals before, and we're well practiced in dealing with those sorts of events. So it's really just part of normal business for us.
So the Eddie Betts banana thing wouldn't impact?
Sorry?
The Eddie Betts, that having a banana thrown at him, that wouldn't impact?
I don't think so, no.
Footy would be another place to look out for this.
It could be, yes.
Sorry, just going back to the tap and go thing. Do you have any stats on how many arrests you've made?
Thank you very much.
You can go to the water.